Lewis Hamilton hit the barriers at Spa, looked at the wrecked Ferrari, and said the 5 words no team wants to hear. "I have destroyed the car, mate." The floor was damaged. The rear suspension was damaged. The rear wing was damaged. And Ferrari had roughly 2 hours to rebuild everything before qualifying. But that was only the beginning. Hamilton's crash triggered double yellow flags, forced Max Verstappen to slow, and left Carlos Sainz locking his tires just meters from the back of the Red Bull. The near miss was so serious that Verstappen and Sainz were summoned by the stewards. Yet Hamilton was not the driver under investigation. And somehow, after Ferrari rebuilt the car under impossible pressure, he qualified 6th with a lap of 1 minute, 44.895 seconds. Only 2 thousandths behind Charles Leclerc. The crash looked like the end of Hamilton's day. Instead, it exposed one of Ferrari's most dramatic recoveries of the entire season. Subscribe to the channel. To understand how serious Hamilton's crash really was, you have to start with the place where it happened. The exit of the Fagnes chicane. Turn 13. A section of Spa where the car is already heavily loaded, the tires are working hard, and the driver has very little room to recover once the line begins to disappear. Hamilton ran wide in the final minutes of the 3rd practice session. That timing made everything worse. This was not the beginning of the day, when Ferrari still had hours to inspect the car, replace damaged parts, and test the repair. This was the final practice session. Qualifying was approaching. The setup work was almost complete. The drivers were searching for their final confidence. And Ferrari believed it was preparing for one of the most important sessions of a weekend. Then Hamilton went off. The crash was strikingly similar to the accident Pierre Gasly had suffered at the same point during the 2nd practice session. That detail matters. When 2 experienced Formula 1 drivers make almost the same mistake at the same corner, the explanation is usually deeper than one careless decision. The circuit may be difficult to read. The grip may change suddenly. The exit may punish a car that moves only slightly beyond the ideal line. At normal speed, a small correction can save the moment. At Formula 1 speed, the same correction can arrive too late. The car begins moving away from the driver. The available road disappears, and the barrier becomes the final destination. Hamilton felt the impact immediately. Then came the radio message. "Yeah, I have destroyed the car, mate." There was no attempt to soften it. No effort to pretend the damage might be minor. Hamilton knew what had happened. A driver feels the difference between a light contact and a major impact. He feels it through the steering wheel, through the seat, through the sudden change in the car's movement. And Hamilton's message told Ferrari that this was not going to be a quick front wing change. The damage reached the floor, the rear suspension, the rear wing. Another report also placed damage around the right rear wheel. Each one of those areas is critical. Together, they created an emergency. The floor is not simply the flat piece underneath the car. It is one of the most important aerodynamic parts of the entire machine. Air moves underneath the car at enormous speed. The shape of the floor helps create pressure that pulls the car toward the track. That gives the driver grip. Not visible grip from one large wing. Hidden grip underneath the car. Damage the floor, and the car can lose performance in ways that are difficult to predict. One corner may feel normal. The next may feel unstable. The rear may move unexpectedly. The balance can change as the speed increases. That is dangerous at any circuit. At Spa, it becomes terrifying. This track includes long full-throttle sections and some of the fastest corners on the calendar. A damaged floor cannot simply be ignored. Ferrari had to replace it or restore the car to safe condition before Hamilton could return. Then there was the rear suspension. The suspension keeps the tire connected to the circuit. It controls how the wheel moves over bumps, through braking zones, and under acceleration. A small alignment problem can damage tire performance. A larger problem can make the car unsafe. Think of riding a bicycle with one wheel pointing slightly in the wrong direction. At slow speed, it feels uncomfortable. At extreme speed, it becomes impossible to trust. Ferrari's mechanics could not look at the visible damage and assume the rest was fine. They had to inspect every connection, every mounting point, every part that may have absorbed the force, because impact energy travels. The damaged piece may not be the only piece carrying the load. The force can move through the suspension, into the gearbox area, and across the rear structure. That is why accident repairs are never as simple as removing broken carbon fiber. The team must discover what cannot be seen. And the rear wing created another problem. That wing helps keep the rear of the Ferrari stable. It pushes the car toward the track through high-speed corners. It also affects straight-line speed. The angle, the structure, and the connection to the car all matter. Ferrari could replace the visible wing, but the engineers still had to confirm that the surrounding components had not shifted. A new part fitted to a damaged mounting point would not solve the real problem. So the mechanics began with a car that had suffered damage in several connected areas, and they had roughly 2 hours. That sounds like a long time until you understand what had to happen. The car had to be returned to the garage. The damaged components had to be removed. The mechanics had to inspect what remained. Replacement parts had to be prepared. The floor had to be installed. The suspension had to be rebuilt and checked. The rear wing had to be fitted. The alignment had to be verified. The systems had to be tested. Then the car had to pass the team's internal safety checks. And all of that had to happen before qualifying. There was no option to finish part of the work and test the rest later. Hamilton could not enter qualifying with a question mark hanging over the rear suspension. Ferrari could not hope the floor would remain stable. The car needed to survive maximum attack from the first serious lap. That is where the pressure becomes difficult to imagine. A mechanic working quickly can save time. A mechanic working too quickly can create another failure. Ferrari needed urgency without panic, speed without shortcuts. Every bolt had to be correct. Every connection had to be secure. Every inspection had to be completed. The clock kept moving, but the standards could not change, and Hamilton could do almost nothing. That may have been the hardest part for him. The driver had caused the crash. The mechanics were carrying the consequences. He could not repair the floor. He could not rebuild the suspension. He could not replace the rear wing. He could only wait for the team to determine whether qualifying was still possible. That creates a different kind of pressure. Hamilton knew every minute mattered. He knew the accident had disrupted Ferrari's preparation. He knew the mechanics were working against the clock because of his mistake. And he knew that even if the car was repaired, he would have to return immediately to the same circuit that had just punished him. There would be no gentle restart, no slow test session, no long run to rebuild confidence. Qualifying demands speed immediately. The tires have to reach the correct temperature. The battery has to be prepared. The traffic has to be managed. The driver has to commit. And commitment after a crash is never automatic. Hamilton had to understand what happened at Fagnes without allowing that memory to control the next lap. That balance is incredibly difficult. Ignore the crash completely, and the same mistake can happen again. Think about it too much, and hesitation appears. Hesitation changes the braking point. It changes the throttle application. It changes the speed carried through the corner. And in qualifying, hesitation becomes lap time. The best drivers do not simply forget a crash. They process it quickly. They identify the mistake. They decide what must change. Then they return to the limit. That is what Hamilton would need to do. But before Ferrari could even confirm whether his car would return, the crash created another danger on the circuit. The impact left debris. Marshals needed to enter the area. Double yellow flags were shown. That warning means danger ahead. Drivers must slow significantly. They must be prepared to stop. Max Verstappen approached the area and reduced his speed. Carlos Sainz was directly behind him. Then everything happened at once. Sainz was surprised by the Red Bull slowing ahead. He braked. The tires locked severely, and the Williams came dangerously close to the back of Verstappen's car. One solo crash had almost created a second accident, this time involving 2 cars. Verstappen reacted immediately. What the fuck? My God, it's like double yellows, and this car, it almost crashes in the back of me. Unbelievable. His anger came from the danger of the moment. Verstappen had slowed for the warning flags. He believed Sainz should have expected that response. From inside the Red Bull, the Williams had suddenly appeared far too close. Sainz saw the situation differently. The car in front braked quite sudden. That was the entire disagreement. Verstappen believed he had slowed normally under double yellow flags. Sainz believed the car ahead had reduced speed more sharply than expected. Both drivers were reacting to danger, yet their reactions almost created another impact. This is what makes yellow flag situations so difficult. The instruction is clear. Slow down. The exact behavior of every car is not. One driver may lift early. Another may brake later. One may lose a large amount of speed. Another may expect a more gradual reduction. The car behind has only moments to understand what the car ahead is doing. At ordinary road speed, that can already be dangerous. At Spa, with Formula 1 cars approaching at enormous speed, the closing rate can change almost instantly. Sainz did not need to ignore the flags for the situation to become frightening. Verstappen did not need to do anything wrong for the car behind to arrive too quickly. That is why the stewards became involved. Hamilton was not summoned. He had made a mistake in practice, but a solo accident does not normally create a personal penalty. The investigation focused on Verstappen and Sainz. The officials needed to determine whether either driver had failed to reduce speed sufficiently under the double yellow flags. Representatives from Red Bull and Williams were called as well. The hearing was scheduled for 2:25 in the afternoon, local time. And suddenly, Hamilton's crash had created pressure in 3 different places. Ferrari was fighting to rebuild the car. Verstappen was explaining his actions to the stewards. Sainz was defending his own response. One mistake at Fagnes had spread across the entire paddock. But the stewards eventually reached an important conclusion. No penalty for Verstappen. No penalty for Sainz. The incident was treated as a misunderstanding. Both drivers were judged to have complied with the regulations. That verdict removed the threat of punishment. It did not remove the danger of what had happened. The Williams had still locked its tires. The Red Bull had still nearly been hit from behind. Verstappen had still believed another car was about to crash into him under double yellow flags. And the most uncomfortable part was that nobody needed to break the rules for the near miss to happen. Both drivers could act correctly. The situation could still become dangerous. That is how quickly events develop at Spa. Hamilton's car had already stopped. The first crash was over, yet its consequences were still moving at full speed toward Verstappen and Sainz. Meanwhile, Ferrari had received the news it desperately needed. The car could be repaired. Hamilton would be able to take part in qualifying. That did not mean the crisis was over. It meant Ferrari had reached the next stage. Now the repaired car had to perform. That is a completely different challenge. A car can be safe enough to leave the garage without feeling exactly as it did before the crash. The alignment may be correct. The replacement parts may be secure. The systems may pass every check. But the driver still has to trust the feeling. Hamilton had lost the final minutes of practice.